Hi everybody, I'm Michael Mercy,
And I'm Matt Crandall.
and this week we are going to be reviewing the brand new release on Blu-ray, Black Dynamite. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about Black Dynamite.
So Black Dynamite is sort of an homage to the blaxploitation movies of the 70s. So it follows the story of Black Dynamite, who has to find out who killed his brother, and he just has to exact revenge on just about everybody he comes into contact with. He's one bad mother, like
Shut your
Shaft
mouth.
or Dolomite, but he's Black Dynamite. And he's pretty awesome. He kicks a lot of people's asses in this movie.
Saw a limited theatrical release, low budget, $3 million.
Yeah.
But you can't tell. Wow, it's really, really good production value on this movie. The star of it, Michael Jai White, is amazing. The guy's built like a tank and great actor too. Really carries the movie, does a great job.
Yeah, he really knows this sort of movie, and you can tell, like, with his performance, he just nails the tone, and clearly he loves these old blaxploitation movies because he co-wrote this as well. And just the character of Black Dynamite is such a badass, which in these movies you have to be a badass. He's smooth with the ladies, he knows kung fu, he's fantastic with nunchucks, just awesome.
And his kung fu is very, very strong. I'll get into that later. But wanted to touch on the difference between homage and parody. We were talking about that earlier. Sometimes you get a movie like this, like an Austin Powers or
Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother, and there is a definite difference between homage and parody. And now, in my opinion, the difference between the two is reverence. Sometimes you get a movie that's making fun of old style movies like this. Undercover Brother is a good example. It makes fun of it, and it's got its funny parts, but it doesn't really feel like the people who made the film were huge fans of blaxploitation films. This movie, though, you can tell that the guys who made this movie love blaxploitation films. There's a lot of jokes, there's a little bit of parody, but yeah, 90% of the movie is homage. There's a lot of reverence to blaxploitation films.
Right, it's a lot like Grindhouse in that way, where they're working within that style, and this movie could have come out back in the day and worked as one of those movies, but it does happen to provide a lot of laughs now. All right, so best part, worst part.
Best part was Michael Jai White's kung fu. There's a lot of funny parts throughout the whole movie. A lot of cool action sequences. So I'm not going to nothing really jumped out as being better than everything else. So for my best part, I'm going to say it's Michael Jai White's martial arts. They could have easily gotten a guy who, was faking it, who didn't know martial arts and, was throwing joke kicks. But this guy is an incredible martial artist. I mean, the stuff he was doing on screen, for me, was on par with, Chuck Norris and some Bruce Lee. I mean, the guy throws some beautiful kicks. He knows what he's doing. Worst part, I'm going to have to go, okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Press pause or come back and watch this after you've watched the movie. The scene where they find, where the militant group finds their buddy who's suffered the Little Richard. Any movie that can make you scream and hold your hands up and block the image, and it's even more terrifying when you're watching it on a 200-inch screen. That's the worst part of the movie, hands down. When that happens.
I was gonna say, and that scene is pretty in your face and a bit terrible, but I did like that ridiculous plot twist of what the overall mastermind evil plot ends up being, because it was so ridiculous, but yet I just thought, like, I couldn't stop laughing.
The scenes
when they reveal what the big overall. Oh.
Yeah, the whole evil scheme is hilarious, and that scene is hilarious. I mean, I was laughing while I was screaming, but seeing as how I'm going to have nightmares tonight, the zoom shot and then another zoom shot, I got to give that my worst part vote. So,
yeah.
You, best part, worst part.
Best part, the music. The music was fantastic. Total
Dynamite.
70s blaxploitation, and Black Dynamite's theme that comes back. I laughed every time it kicked in. It was just amazing. And also tied for best part The flashback of Black Dynamite as a kid at the orphanage
Yes.
was one of my absolute favorite parts. Worst part, while most of the movie works like gangbusters and is just very funny, there is about 10 to 15 minutes that I felt in the middle really brought it down. A lot of dialogue scenes that don't advance the plot, don't have very many jokes in them, and just felt like dragged on, and we just wanted to get to Black Dynamite kicking people's asses. So I think that if they had tightened up a bit, it would have been a little bit better. Now, that could have been intentional because a lot of those blaxploitation movies do have some really terrible scenes that don't advance the plot, that just feel like they're trying to get someone's cousin into the movie. So I understand that is part of the homage, right? Is like they need these horribly long, talky scenes that aren't particularly important, but in this context, I just felt it sort of detracted from the experience.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about was it doesn't have to be non-stop action or non-stop jokes, but there was one dialogue scene in particular where you see a boom in the shot, the microphone, and the first time you see it, it's like, that's weird, the boom's in the shot. Maybe they're doing that intentionally. And then you see the boom again, and then you see it again, and it's like, oh, okay, here they're playing this boom joke. But then Michael Jai White, while he's doing this powerful performance, he looks up at the boom, and you laugh, you just lose it. So even if the dialogue isn't funny, you can do little things like that are funny. And there were quite a few scenes in the middle of the movie where, even if the dialogue wasn't funny, there was nothing else going on, with performance or background stuff. It was just kind of boring, based on what you've already seen leading up to that.
Yeah, for sure. But overall, definitely a very solid comedy. I'm sure it's going to gain a huge cult following. And if you are a fan of those 70s movies like Dolomite, then you're going to love Black Dynamite.
Yeah, I think this movie does for blaxploitation films what Austin Powers did for spy movies, James Bond stuff. So I think it will be a big cult hit. I'd love to see a sequel. I'd love to see this series grow, just as the Austin Powers films did, because the character of Black Dynamite is hilarious. He's awesome. He's a badass. Man, he kicks ass, and I want to see him kick some more ass. So hopefully this is a huge hit on Blu-ray, and a lot more to come. So that's our review for Black Dynamite. Definitely check it out. I think you'll like it. I want to take a second to thank everybody for watching our videos. We've got quite a few views in just the few short weeks we've been putting these up. So thank you very much for watching. And an extra special thanks to everyone who took the time to comment on our videos. We really appreciate your feedback. And I also wanted to let you know that we've got a Facebook group in case you use Facebook, so you can keep track of us there. Join the group, and just thanks for watching, and hopefully many, many more to come.
For sure. All right, we'll see you jive motherfuckers later.